Everyone in the room, can you please give a huge round of applause and give some love there for coming to the stage right now? Give it up for Paul!
Hi everyone, good evening. It's lovely to be here. Normally, for those that have seen me before, I don't usually look like this. I usually wear, how would you describe the look, Nick?
I would say fabulous tapestry dressing gowns and teeny pants.
There we go, great description. And I've been coming along to do this open mic for almost a year now, because I've something I feel drawn to doing. Anybody that performs, which is probably most of the people in this room, can probably relate to that. There's a kind of, feel a bit of a calling. So I've felt this calling to do open mics for a while, and just to kind of keep doing them. But I've decided to be me tonight, and something that kind of inspired that was yesterday. I went to a talk, and the speaker invited everybody to consider who they would be if you could be anybody in the world, say alive or dead, for 24 hours. Who would you be? So I'll put that out to the audience tonight. Who would you be if you anybody for 24 hours?
Can I travel through time?
You can travel through time.
Can I be an animal?
1972 Joni Mitchell, baby.
Okay, 1972 Joni Mitchell. Garima, did you have one?
A mountain goat.
A mountain goat. Fantastic. You've got some really good imagination here downstairs in the Brunswick on Monday. Any others? Anyone else want to throw anything out there? Shall I tell you who I thought of straight away? Donald Trump.
Just for a day.
Just for a day. So before you start rightly judging me and throwing stuff at me, I think the reason why this came through for me, because what Donald Trump epitomises for me, amongst many things, and probably a lot of people would say would be bad things. Oh, Nick, can you give us a 3-minute warning for the end? Thank you. So, whatever you say about him, there's a lot that's said about this guy that probably none of us ever met. One thing he embodies, this guy does not give a shit what other people think of him, right? He just doesn't seem to care, right? And I think that's really, really interesting. So the reason why I went for Donald Trump, this idea that just for 24 hours, if I could just not care, or to try that on, almost like a suit, try that suit on, see how it feels, and then to take it off again and to know what that would be like, to have that tool in the box of being human, this idea about behavioural and thinking flexibility. I just thought that was really interesting. For me, having lived a life where I've probably cared too much what other people think. Can you relate to that? Yeah? Wanting to be a certain way. Don't be too X, Y, or Z. And I think a lot of us learn not to be our truest, fullest self, not to shine too brightly because it might upset people, or it's not okay to be kind of who you are because of any number of reasons, because of how we look, who we love, where we grew up, all kinds of things. So this is what I'm trying to spread a message, and just by doing this myself, standing on stage, making stuff up generally, and not really just having like a rough idea what I might talk about. Because it's said that as human beings, there are two things that we look for. We look for connection, and we look for authenticity. But what often happens, apparently, and this kind of really fits for me, is that we'll sacrifice authenticity, who we really are, to get connections. This is why we sometimes imagine that acting. Do you find that you're different, say, around your birth family compared to your best friend, your partner, your work colleagues? And why do we do all that kind of stuff? It's to be liked. So we kind of go along that route. So that's the main thing I wanted kind of to share this evening. Because we're made up of all these different parts. We're very complex as human beings, and I just want to be free now, just to be who I am and to explore that. So this is why the Donald Trump idea came into fruition. But I'm not going to be too Donald Trump. I want to be able to take that off. Could you imagine? Sort of running around Brighton, even starting to dress like the guy and just to be that. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Because I get angry as well. And it could be something. I went to Tesco's this morning, and this is how. I don't think I got enough sleep last night, so the thing that really pissed me off was I couldn't get the right light bulbs. Something like that, and I felt this anger rising up inside me. And then it kind of, as I came out, I had an appointment, and I was walking along the pavement along Church Road, and people were walking too slowly, and I felt this anger again. And where does this come from? Where does this come from? And I've actually wondered, because we're in the basement, I hope everyone still feels safe, but I had this interest in serial killers growing up. I had piranha fish and carnivorous plants, and I thought that was normal. But where does that come from? And I wondered actually, what happens if I've been an evil emperor in a past life? That's interesting, because that would also produce something inside me which would be around, I don't want to, if I'm in my full power in this life, my full light, people could get hurt. Or apparently if past lives exist, most of us have been burnt at the stake for being a witch. So that's another reason for our light not to shine, even beyond anything that goes on in this life. So I'm trying to bring a lot of love and to share that there's actually a killer inside of me. But having said that, he's pretty much under wraps. I'm trying to learn to integrate and befriend this little guy.
Is it pretty much?
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of effort. So I'm learning to love him, to see him, and to just when he does that, when there are no light bulbs, there were plenty of light bulbs, just not the right sorts in Tesco's, is to kind of really feel that and allow that energy to be there. Because the last thing we want to do is to express that, go crazy in Church Road. Or to suppress it as well, because I've been a nice guy my whole life. People probably think, oh, he's a nice guy. And I went along my whole life sort of thinking, oh, I don't mind. That's okay. Not realising I've got these needs and feelings going on. So, that's all that. Yeah.
This is your 3-minute warning.
Okay. So, we've been talking about homicidal rage, and it's just a small part of me that I'm trying to befriend. I'll let you know how it all goes. Moving from that energy, what does the world need a lot more of today? Kindness. Wisdom. What about love? Yeah? Okay, so just gonna invite you all we're gonna do a little bit of a group meditation, which is quite unusual at an open mic in Brighton. So the invitation is, if you'd like to lower your gaze, look at the floor, or even better perhaps, if you'd like to close your eyes for a couple of minutes. And I just want you to imagine the first person or animal that springs to mind for whom you have unconditional love. The very thought of this being produces a nice warm feeling in your heart, in your stomach. And allow that feeling to grow. Allow it to expand, to cover your whole chest and the whole body, and out into the room. Sending love to everybody here, downstairs in the basement. And then wider into the whole pub. And if it helps, you can imagine a light emanating from your heart centre into the whole of Brighton. The whole of the UK. And then the world, including all American politicians. And bringing that feeling back to yourself as well. Giving yourself a lot of love and compassion. It's not easy being a human being all the time. showing some love, shining some light on those parts of you that maybe you hide to gain love and acceptance from others. The times that you can't find the right light bulbs. And just becoming aware that this is a feeling that we can tap into. We can tap into the anger and the aggression. And we can also tap into the love very quickly. And how good it feels when we think nice thoughts about people, about ourselves, about pets, and other people. And may there be peace on earth. May all beings be happy. Thank you for listening. I've been Paul rather than Marrron. Lots of love. Enjoy your rest of your evening. Thank you.
Everybody, please give a round of applause. Thank you so much, Paul. And I think you're fabulous, whether you're dressed in a pretty